A powerful summer storm swept through northern Virginia a few years ago, leaving more than 1 million homes without electric power for days. One of those homes belonged to the Moore family. The sweltering July temperature hovered around 100 degrees, and it was so humid you felt like you needed gills to breathe. "Sure, we're miserable," Steve joked to his 3 children, "but look at the bright side. Think how much we've reduced our carbon footprint. Consider it a life lesson in what it means to live green." They saw no humor in that. Without Facebook, ESPN, and air conditioning, they felt like they had surrendered their basic human rights. One night the family all sat on the couch, sweating and talking. At first it had been a rustic adventure, grilling their food on the barbecue, reading by candlelight, playing flashlight tag inside the house. But the novelty wore off quickly. "What did people do before the age of electricity?" one of the kids asked. "I would have killed myself," he moaned, only half joking. Electrical power is the central nervous system of our modern economy and our 21st century lifestyles, and living without it for a few days is a reminder of how vulnerable we are to being sent back to a pre-industrial age. Yet every initiative of the so-called green movement is intended to reduce our access to electrical power, although they never admit that explicitly. The power outage that gave the Moore family a new appreciation for the electricity that powers our lives was caused by Mother Nature. But we are convinced that rolling brownouts are coming, especially in states like California, which are trying to rely on unreliable green energy sources, thanks to the radical environmentalists who have achieved a chokehold on our politics. Green groups, for example, have declared war on coal, which still produces nearly 40% of our electricity. The Obama administration is listening and has slammed the brakes on coal production. Technological progress is making this cheap and domestically abundant energy source cleaner all the time. Yet the global warming alarmist James Hansen, a scientist at NASA, has compared the railroad cars carrying coal across our country to the death trains that transported Jews to Nazi concentration camps. Natural gas is our second major source of electrical energy. The technological miracle of hydraulic fracking, has given us hundreds of years' worth of this clean-burning fuel that reduces greenhouse gas emissions. But the Sierra Club is vowing to shut down natural gas, too. Regulations by the Environmental Protection Agency against methane, natural gas, could seriously impair our use of natural gas. The anti-fracking movement spreads groundless fear about contaminated water. But, as the Moore family discovered, when you lose electricity, you often lose access to potable water. Of course, Big Green hates oil and nuclear power, too. That's why we're not drilling for oil in many parts of Alaska or on other energy-rich federal lands and waters, and why we're not building the Keystone XL pipeline. This is public policy that is not just anti-growth, but dangerous to our health and safety. Sadly, school children are the target of propaganda about saving the planet with alternative energy sources. If global warming is a threat, we will be saved not by building windmills or riding our bicycles to work, but by applying advanced technology and electrical power to find ways to keep the planet cool. That isn't going to happen because of regulatory dictates from the United Nations or the White House. Many Americans believe the green fairy tale that things were better in the past than they are now. Sure, the economy has been weak for many years now, poverty is too high, wages are stagnant. But 72 hours without air conditioning, TV, a dishwasher, a hairdryer, and Google taught the Moores how much progress has been made in the last 20, 30, and 50 years. Today, the percentage of people below the poverty line who have air conditioning is higher than the percentage of middle-class families who had it in 1960. Anyone who thinks that we can get the power we need for our modern society from clean, renewable sources like wind and solar power is living in a world of make-believe. After tens of billions of dollars in subsidies, the These sources provide 4.3% of our electricity.